What's up, guys? Welcome back to another edition of K-Cards Baseball. Thanks for joining me tonight on this lovely evening. Hopefully you all are doing absolutely wonderful out there. Tonight on the channel, we're up to number 5 of our countdown of the top 10 players to invest in from the top 100 prospect list going into the 2025 Major League Baseball season. Number 5 on our list is from the Chicago Cubs, and it is a guy that we've heard a lot about, and that is Matt Shaw. He's an infielder, again, with the Cubs. He's 23 years old, 5'9", 185 pounds. He throws right and he bats right. Some interesting things about Matt Shaw. He was the Cape Cod batting title MVP in 2022, and he was the Big Ten Player of the Year. He was the 13th overall pick in the 2023 draft out of Maryland. He's an awesome contact batter as well as hits for power and has actually pretty good speed. Shaw did grow up as a Red Sox fan and modeled his game after the similarly sized Dustin Pedroia and balanced his aggression and discipline just like the 4-time All-Star did. As a freshman in college at Maryland, he spent most of his time playing second base, as well as quite a bit of time at shortstop. Last year, however, the Cubs transitioned him over to third base because they think that he has more upside at third base. As a freshman in college, he spent most of his time playing second base. However, over the last 2 years, he did spend quite a bit of time at shortstop, and last year he spent most of his time playing third base, largely because the Cubs see a better future for him at third base because Nico Hoerner is at second base, and it doesn't look like the Cubs are going to move Nico Hoerner off of second base anytime soon, even though that seems to be Matt Shaw's most comfortable and most favored position. And looking at Matt Shaw's stats over the last 2 seasons, he played for 4 different teams over the last 2 years and is currently at the Iowa Cubs. His average was .303 with a slugging percentage of .522 and an OPS of .906. In 2023, his OPS was 1.018. He had 182 hits and 29 home runs, so he is definitely a guy with a tremendous amount of power. His strikeout to walk ratio is actually pretty solid because he is a really good contact hitter, as his batting average would indicate. He had a total of 120 strikeouts over the course of the last 2 years with a total of 71 walks. So again, that is a really good strikeout to walk ratio. Let's take a video clip look at Matt Shaw.
Joined now by the guy on the top of that list, and that's Matt Shaw. Matt, first of all, you just got married a couple weeks ago, and then you're here. One, a very understanding wife, clearly, but your life is really changing a lot right now.
Yeah, definitely changed a lot. It's great to get married. Really exciting for us, but it's an exciting time for sure for both of us.
Well, what have been the biggest things for you to learn to get used to the left side of the infield of the hot corner as opposed to up the middle?
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest challenges was really I just had no experience over there. So for me, having now 60, 70, 80 games under my belt, it kind of gives me something to work off of positioning-wise, depth-wise. All that stuff takes into account at third base. And honestly, that's why I feel so much more confident now, as I have something to work off of. I have some history there now, and it's like, okay, we make these adjustments, we're probably in a much better spot than we were last year.
You have sort of different varying leg kicks depending on what you do, but it seems like you're always on time. Is that something that you're always refining and tweaking depending on the situation?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it definitely depends on the situation. It depends on the count. It depends on the pitcher, how confident I'm feeling on that pitcher, how well I'm seeing it, what pitches he's throwing. They might be throwing a lot more off speed or whatever it may be. It might just be a little bit bigger. Some guys have a really big leg kick. Some guys have a slide step, so that changes the leg kick as well. So for me, it's subtle adjustments to make sure that my timing every time is exactly the same.
So that is a quick look at Matt Shaw. One interesting note about Matt Shaw is that I did see earlier today that the Cubs are bringing him over to Japan for the Japan series against the Los Angeles Dodgers. So that is really a good sign that the Cubs really have high aspirations for Matt Shaw and have an eye to bringing him up to start the season this year. So it will definitely be a really good time to invest in Matt Shaw. Let's roll over to eBay and take a quick look at Matt Shaw's cards on eBay. And looking at Matt Shaw's market on eBay, he is another guy in the 2023 Bowman draft set. That seems to me to be a set that continues to really increase in value because the draft class in that 2023 set is absolutely loaded, as we are seeing throughout this top 10 list. Here is his Bowman Chrome First Refractor for $20 that recently sold. Another one that sold for $14.95. And here's a really nice autograph card numbered to 199 and a PSA 8 for $145, and a PSA 10 that recently sold for $365, and that one is numbered to 499. It is an on-card auto. Matt Shaw's market is really taking off, as we know, with the Cubs being one of the more popular teams in Major League Baseball. A hot prospect for that team that will possibly be coming up during the 2025 season has really increased his card values over the course of the last few months and going into the baseball season this year. So it is a really good time to get invested in him before the season starts, because it really looks like that he will be a solid, if not call up at the beginning of the season, an early season call up for sure. Here's his base paper cards for under $5. That isn't really a bad deal for a base paper card, but again, as with all the other cards, I would lean more towards the chrome and the chrome refractors. Here's a really nice sky blue refractor for $20. That is a really beautiful team match card there. So that is a look at the current market for Matt Shaw, a really awesome prospect and a guy that I would actually put at one of the top places on this particular top 100 list, a guy that has been steadily climbing up the top 100 prospect list over the course of the last year or so. Thanks guys for checking out this video of Matt Shaw, the guy I've listed as number 5 on my top 10 prospect list going into the season. Thanks guys, be safe out there and happy collecting. We'll talk to you guys later.